Marcus Tullius Cicero was born on January 3, 106 BCE, in Arpinum, a small town southeast of Rome. He came from a family of the equestrian class, moderately wealthy, but without the prestige of the old patrician nobility. His father, a landowner and minor magistrate, ensured that Cicero received an exceptional education, one that combined Latin and Greek literature, rhetoric, and philosophy. From an early age, Cicero displayed extraordinary intellectual ability, a precise memory, and a facility with language that would define his career. Yet his provincial origin marked him as an outsider in the elite circles of Rome, a distinction he would navigate throughout his life. Cicero's education was rigorous and cosmopolitan. He studied under renowned teachers of rhetoric, philosophy, and law, traveling to Rome and later to Greece to refine his skills. Greek philosophy, especially the works of Plato and the Stoics, influenced him deeply, shaping his understanding of ethics, duty, and civic responsibility. Cicero combined these philosophical insights with practical knowledge of law, politics, and oratory, preparing himself to participate in the complex and often treacherous world of Roman public life. His ambition was tempered by a sense of moral duty, a desire to guide the republic according to principles of justice, moderation, and reason. Cicero began his political career in the traditional cursus honorum, holding minor offices such as quaestor and aedile, before attaining the praetorship and ultimately the consulship in 63 BCE. His ascent coincided with a period of political instability in Rome, marked by corruption, social unrest, and the rise of powerful individuals seeking to dominate the state. Cicero gained fame for his oratorical skill, legal expertise, and commitment to the rule of law. He was celebrated for defending clients in court with eloquence and logic, and for addressing the Roman Senate with reasoned appeals to justice, tradition, and civic virtue. Cicero's consulship in 63 BCE was dominated by the conspiracy of Lucius Sergius Catilina, a senator who planned to overthrow the Roman government. Cicero exposed the conspiracy in a series of speeches that emphasized the danger of lawlessness and the moral responsibility of citizens and magistrates. His decisive action against Catiline won him the admiration of many Romans, though it also created enemies among those who viewed his methods as excessively severe. The crisis highlighted Cicero's central philosophical conviction that the stability of the republic depends on virtue, the rule of law, and the active engagement of morally aware leaders. Despite his prominence, Cicero's career was fraught with danger and political opposition. The intense rivalry among Rome's elite, the ambitions of men such as Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus, and the erosion of republican norms created a climate of uncertainty and intrigue. Cicero sought to preserve the authority of the Senate and the integrity of the republic, advocating for moderation and adherence to traditional principles. Yet his moral stance often conflicted with the practical realities of Roman politics, exposing him to the hostility of powerful individuals and factions. Cicero's dedication to the republic and his commitment to justice led him to oppose the rise of Julius Caesar, whose consolidation of power threatened traditional governance. Cicero supported the senatorial cause during the Civil War following Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon, seeking to defend the institutions of the republic against autocracy. However, the tides of power shifted quickly. Caesar emerged victorious, and although he spared Cicero's life, the experience marked the beginning of a period of political uncertainty and personal risk for the orator and statesman. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, Cicero returned to public life with renewed determination. He delivered the Philippics, a series of speeches denouncing Mark Antony, warning of the dangers posed by ambition and the erosion of republican values. Cicero's eloquence and moral authority temporarily rallied support for the Senate, but the political forces arrayed against him were formidable. His attacks on Antony made him a target for retribution, illustrating the peril of opposing powerful men in a time when law and order were subordinate to ambition and personal interest. In 43 BCE, Cicero was declared an enemy of the state by the Second Triumvirate, composed of Mark Antony, Octavian, and Lepidus. Forced into exile, he fled Rome and endured a period of profound personal and political hardship. His property was confiscated, and his family faced intimidation and danger. During this exile, Cicero reflected on the fragility of political life, the moral compromises demanded by power, and the limits of human agency in turbulent times. He remained committed to the principles he had championed, believing that justice and virtue were worth the sacrifices required to uphold them. Cicero's exile was brief. Political alliances and changing circumstances allowed him to return to Rome in 57 BCE. He resumed his literary and political activities, producing speeches, philosophical treatises, and letters that documented his experiences and reflections. These works reveal Cicero's enduring concern with ethics, governance, and the responsibilities of citizenship. He argued that the preservation of freedom and law requires vigilance, moral integrity, and the cultivation of virtue among those who wield power. His writings combined practical advice for political life with profound philosophical insight, reflecting a synthesis of classical thought and lived experience. Despite his return, Cicero remained vulnerable to the volatility of Roman politics. The rise of the Second Triumvirate and the struggle for control of Rome ultimately sealed his fate. In December 43 BCE, Cicero was captured and executed by soldiers loyal to Mark Antony. His hands and head were displayed publicly in Rome, a grim testament to the dangers of political engagement in a time of chaos. Even in death, Cicero's legacy endured through his writings, which preserved his thoughts on law, ethics, rhetoric, and governance for future generations. Cicero's intellectual contributions were vast. He codified principles of rhetoric and oratory, emphasizing clarity, persuasion, and moral responsibility. His philosophical works, including treatises on duty, friendship, and the Republic, blended Stoic, academic, and Roman thought, offering practical guidance for ethical and political life. Cicero believed that the health of the state is inseparable from the virtue of its citizens, and that knowledge, moral integrity, and eloquence are essential tools for defending justice and liberty. More than 2,000 years after his death, his legacy continues to inform and inspire. Marcus Tullius Cicero is remembered not merely as a politician or orator, but as a thinker who confronted the dangers of ambition, corruption, and political instability. His life illustrates the precarious balance between moral conviction and practical action, the risks inherent in defending principles in a world dominated by power, and the enduring value of attention to justice, ethics, and civic responsibility. Cicero's exile, triumphs, and ultimate death underscore the cost of integrity in politics, demonstrating that courage, reason, and eloquence are inseparable from the perils of public life. Through his speeches, letters, and philosophical works, Cicero preserved a vision of republican virtue that continues to inspire political thought. His commitment to law, ethics, and public service demonstrates the enduring tension between ambition and principle, the fragility of political institutions, and the responsibility of individuals to uphold justice. Cicero's life remains a testament to the intersection of intellect, morality, and action, showing that political engagement, though fraught with danger, is inseparable from the pursuit of human dignity and societal stability.